You can encounter hundreds of questions in job interviews, but some are more common than others. In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the most common questions in job interviews, regardless of whether I use them or not. In fact, there are many that I don't even like, and I'm going to teach you how to understand them so you can answer in the best possible way. You'll see that with this information, you'll go to the job interview with much more confidence. Let's get started. Hello, how are you? I'm John Charles, I work in Human Resources, and I'm here to give you a hand. Before we start, let me tell you that when you finish watching this video, check out the description box because I've left several videos there, including another one with some common interview questions. And if this type of content gets support, I can make more videos with questions and answers for job interviews. It's up to you to like this video, and if there are enough likes, I'll get to it. Alright, now let's go ahead and look at some of the most common job interview questions. Can you tell me about a work situation where you had a problem and how you solved it? This question or its various forms are very common in job interviews. They are case-based questions, and sometimes you may also see them as critical incident questions. Basically, the interviewer aims to gather enough information to see how you have behaved in the past and to see how this behavior can help predict your future behavior. Additionally, this type of questions are very interesting for interviewers so they can understand what competencies you have as a candidate. And as I mentioned, you can see it in many different ways. Describe a moment when you had a heavy workload and how you dealt with it to assess, for example, your stress tolerance. Tell me about a situation where your work was criticized, so I can understand how you handle other people's opinions. The important thing, in the end, with this type of question is to see practical examples of who you are. Well, to answer this question, you need to think about what skills you have that are useful for the job you are being interviewed for. And I won't get tired of telling you this in the video here, but checking the job offer description for the position you have applied for is very useful, because in this description you can see what skills are necessary for the job. Okay, now you understand why these questions are asked, but how can you answer them? Well, I'm going to teach you how to structure your response using the START method, which stands for situation, tasks, actions, and results. Let's go step by step. Here you should present the situation you faced in the past, what problem or conflict arose in that situation, and why it was important. Afterwards, you should talk about which tasks were planned and which ones were failing. In this third part, you will need to discuss the actions you took to resolve it. And finally, R for results, how everything ended and what consequences the actions you took had. I am going to give you an example answer so you can see it in practice. Well, I remember a situation where my company started selling a new service to our clients. The main problem that arose was that we were not prepared for it because we did not have an after-sales service that met the customer's needs. So some complaints started to come in. In that context, since I was a salesperson and knew the product quite well, I prepared a small guide with some of the most common problems that customers might encounter and, therefore, how I would handle those complaints or claims that were being raised. This was very useful. We soon started using them with some of the claims, and the after-sales service began to improve. This led to customers becoming happier. They gradually started recommending us, and sales increased the following year. You see where this is going, right? That's what it's about, demonstrating that you have encountered problems in the past and have been able to take action to resolve them. Let's move on to the next one. Why do you want to change jobs? The most common thing for a candidate who is not well prepared for their interview is to start criticizing the company they are currently with. For this question, you can see some answers that are not very appropriate. For example, I want to change because I don't have a very competitive salary. I would like to change because I don't have a good work environment. Well, no, and no. It's not about criticizing your company. It's about understanding your motivations for wanting to work at another company. Motivations for the future, not criticisms of the past. The interview is not a venting session. It is a sales pitch where you need to sell yourself as a worker, and no one buys a product or service from someone who is currently failing. So what you need to do is demonstrate a positive attitude and leave behind defeatism or negativity. Understand me well, it's not about lying, it's about presenting yourself as a person with potential and a solid track record. So focus your speech on presenting yourself as an enthusiastic, motivated person who can get things done. Speak positively and go for it. Let's look at another response as an example. Currently, I am very happy in my job, I am growing, I have learned a lot, and right now I feel that I am at the perfect moment to take a step forward, to have more responsibilities in another company and continue advancing. I believe your company fits perfectly with what I am looking for, and moreover, the position you are offering matches what I have done previously. Ultimately, I would like to continue advancing in my professional career in a dynamic company like yours, where I believe I can keep progressing. Got it. So, let's move on to the last interview question. Why do you want to work with us? Or why do you want to work at this company? Or what attracts you to us? Or why specifically with us? You can see it in many different ways, but in the end, the question is the same. This question is very common and is related to the previous one because it asks you to talk about your motivations, but the truth is that the interviewer is actually looking for different information. Here they are now exploring how interested you are in working with them and how much you know about the company. So I advise you to check out this video where we talked about how to prepare for a job interview. But beforehand, I'll give you a brief summary. You should have researched the company on the internet, consulted the job offer, and also checked the latest news you can find about the company. This way, you will have more than enough information to tailor your response to this question. 2009. Let's go with another example. I have been following your company for a while because it is closely related to the topics that interest me. For example, I have followed the actions in the world of altruism that you have carried out over the past year, such as the reforestation project or the collaboration with people at risk of social exclusion. And the truth is, I have always wanted to work in a company that undertakes this type of actions. Additionally, I have seen that you are very innovative in the entire area of scientific research and that you have new medications like the latest one for depression. So I would really like to work with you because I truly want to be part of a company that has these kinds of projects. As you have seen in this example, I focused on corporate social responsibility, but you can focus on any other aspect as long as you demonstrate that you know and have researched the company. This ultimately shows interest, enthusiasm, and excitement, which are fundamental components for getting hired in any job. And that's the end of the video. I hope you have learned and found it very useful for the interview you have soon. If you think this content might interest a friend, share the video with them and leave me any questions you have or what you would like me to talk about in the next video in the comments box. That's all. Thank you very much and see you next time. Bye.